When planning the road to success, there are a few steps to keep in mind. Identifying and solving the cause, facing and embracing change, goal setting, and being accountable. We'll talk about this today on Sustainable Success with Chris Salem. New and healthier habits lead to prosperity in all areas of your life and business. Now, here's your host, Chris Salem.
Welcome to Sustainable Success. I'm your host, Chris Salem. Hope all of you are having a great week. You found us here at our new platform at Libsyn, and you could also follow us as well on Spotify, Apple, and also now we're on YouTube. So feel free to follow us at Sustainable Success. Our show has been around now for almost 8 years. Hard to believe. We were with the Voice America Influencer channel back in the day when we pioneered that channel, then eventually with the business channel. And now we're on our new platform with Libsyn since January. So welcome any new listeners here to the show. You're definitely in for a treat as we bring in subject matter experts from all walks of business to share their personal insights, personal experience in helping you to move your business and level of success to the next level. Today's show is being brought to you today by Alumni Direct. Alumni Direct is a new social media community platform dedicated to bringing alumni together from all different generational types and an opportunity to meet new people for the first time. Now, this is a membership program taking out all the noise out of social media. You get to come in and generate genuine and authentic relationships with the people you choose to interact with. So again, we highly encourage you to check us out there and check out Alumni Direct. Again, they offer a wide variety of different services, and it takes all the noise out of social media. So again, alumnidirect.com. That's alumnidirect.com. We got a great show today. We're going to be talking about achieving sustainable growth for a successful exit within 5 years. And we're going to be with our guest, Fadi Malouf. About this episode, if you are an investor or perhaps own a business, this is the right episode for you because you're going to learn a lot of the things that you can be doing to set yourself up for more success in your business. And you're going to be able to get information from Fadi here later and how you can get in contact with him. So a little bit about Fadi before we introduce him. Fadi helps investors and business leaders scale their wealth through proven M&A strategies, organic growth, and capital-backed ventures. With a network of 300 global partners, 800 investors, and access to $2 billion in funding, he focuses on helping companies thrive in the 5 million EBITDA and 100 million revenue range. His goal, to ensure capital is in the right hands for exponential growth and long-term success. From his experience as a professional athlete to his role today as an investor, entrepreneur, and advisor, he values disciplined execution and relationships and high-impact individuals. Guided from insights from Elon Musk, Ray Dalio, and Brad Jacobs, he has built his career around scaling companies, closing deals, and maximizing returns for investors like you. And without further ado, we welcome Fadi Malouf to the show. Fadi, how you doing today?
Fantastic, Chris. Thank you so much for an amazing introductory, and congratulations on almost 8 years on this fantastic podcast. And thank you for the listeners. And I am committed to providing some amazing insight that will inspire you, motivate you, and help you take action. And most importantly, get an amazing ROI so you can spend more time with your family and the things that are meaningful and important to you. And as always, the first wealth is health. So I do always like to preface that. And you have really reminded me of the importance of that today. Thank you so much again for having me, Chris.
Sure. It is a pleasure to have you. And so, Fadi, I always like to start off with our show with our guests, before we get into the topic, what brought you to this particular area to really help business owners really now, be able to exit their business at the highest valuation and ensuring that they're able to protect and grow their wealth, and then also helping investors as well invest at the right levels that also align with their wealth objectives?
That's a great question. And the short answer to that is a painful experience of growing a business and not having an exit strategy. After 25 years, And
Wow. I bet I've seen it happen. Believe me, many times.
when you start a company or start working for yourself, you're thinking, okay, I'm just trying to pay the bills, and then
Yes.
it morphs into a sort of successful business. You don't think about an exit, and then you think that you're always going to be passionate about that thing that you did, and the discipline and the skills that you learned is, for most people, out of necessity,
Yeah.
not because they had the resources and say, okay, I'm gonna have this dream and I'm gonna go after it. I didn't have that luxury. I lost my dad at age 17, and my closest brother to me that was 10 years older. I'm the youngest of four. My sister's the oldest. They're thankfully they're all around still. My sister's in his 60s, my older brother's in his 60s, and my brother's uh, also almost 60 years old. I'm almost 50. I feel like I'm still 19 years old, though.
I do. My body doesn't feel the same, but my head does.
Exactly. So the different types of pains, right? So, my brother says, you're not 17, you're 27. Mom can't help you, can't take care of you. Dad is gone. And just got to figure out life. So I had to grow up pretty quickly. And business, like I see like Warren Buffett and a lot of entrepreneurs like making money or thinking about making money since they were young. For me, especially my mom has the highest value of being comfortable. She's
Yeah.
amazing. She wants her to be herself to be comfortable. Of course, she wants her kids to be comfortable. But
Yeah.
for men and a lot of women, comfort is not a successful formula.
No, it's not. No, it's
The
not. Keeps us
opposite.
stuck.
Exactly. So, the pushing the envelope, and as this show talks about having sustainable growth, it's making small progress. It's one of my key things that I always have to remind myself, and it's just progress every day. What kind of progress can I have? And then more recently, in the last couple of years, you start seeing some stuff on social media about 1% gain every day. And I tried to do the math on that. That was kind of tough. In relation to an initiative I have, is called the Healthy Millionaire Hero Project. And this is related to Americans that have less than 1.1 million to
Yeah.
retire. In fact, I think most people's net worth is about $4,700. So that's really pathetic. And as part of my passion and why I started helping entrepreneurs, this happened when COVID hit. I had a health and fitness background. I had exited in the health and fitness field in 2012, but I was private. I was not really out in the public eye saying I'm an entrepreneur, I'm an investor, and that's part of who I've always been. I don't necessarily like to be in a limelight, although I was a bodybuilder for 10 years, but I did it because I wanted to lead by example.
Yeah.
And so I'm very particular about leading unless have results. I have testimonies and results before I go public about things. So here I am. I'm out there now. So I don't know if that gives you a little bit of a background.
No, it does. I love the transparency, Fadi, and you and I have similar backgrounds. I was a bodybuilder in college throughout my early to mid 20s, and then I had a back injury, and I still work out and lift to this day, but nowhere near to the degree that I did back then. Now it's just all about maintaining, not where it was like my life, at the time. And so I could totally relate to that. Based upon your own personal experiences, what you just shared, obviously it shows up in your passion in helping business owners and business leaders and investors to really maximize their wealth, not taking things for granted, planning ahead of time. What are some of the things that you do to kind of, let them know and create awareness of why this is something they got to start looking at sooner than later?
It really depends on the individual, their age makes a
Yep.
difference. And are they thinking about starting a company? where they're at in, are they a startup? Are they established? Are they looking to exit? It really depends on where that person is. So
Yep.
uh, I'm going to go back to some foundational things that are really, these three things, or two of the four, had nothing to do with training. Uh, I should say intentionally training. So it's either you have it or you don't.
Yep.
My family is very caring. You really feel, they really feel with you. Okay. They really care. So that's ingrained in me.
Yes.
It's either you genuinely care about people or you don't. And I've worked with
Yes.
people that are amazing at business, but they had a business outcome. They don't give two shits about the people.
Yeah, they're task oriented, results oriented, but they don't care who's involved.
They don't give two shits. They
Yes.
care about what's going in their pocket. And I had worked in the past with individuals like this. With my mindset, it's about the people, about the cause, or something really good. Even though they told me that they're not, friends told me that they're not. I'm wired to think that way, even though people tell you who they are initially. But I will continue to see the potential and see it in my own eyes, which is shortcoming from me, right? And it's a double-edged sword. But at the same time, I was very glad I worked with these type of individuals because I know what not to do, and I know who not to work with. So, in some sense, when you truly care about people, and you've been burned, you got to know who to work with, who not to work with. If you change, you're gonna be very unhappy, and that is a foundational principle. I don't know what you would call it. You can put any kind of foundational principle. There's a lot of great people out there, like Ray Dalio, that comes to mind, that wrote out his principles and made it available.
Yeah, and by the way, Ray lives about 30 minutes from where I live.
Let's go say hello to him. Let's go knock on his door.
Yeah, he's not far from where I live.
He's a great guy. I feel
Yeah.
like he's a genuinely guy, and he cares about the economy. He cares about people, and he publishes so much and helps a lot of people. And so he is a great inspiration for me, for sure. So that's one thing, being genuinely caring. If you're passionate about something, you're going to try to consume as much information about as possible and for a long period of time. And so you naturally become pretty good at it. And when you're helping other people, it's just kind of just come out of you. So caring, being passionate, leads to being knowledgeable. The one thing that I recommend to all business owners, whether you're thinking about starting a business, buying a business, scaling your business, improving your business, look at what's in the market. I wish that I did this in my early 20s. Instead of looking for a house to buy, which, by the way, I bought my first house, I think, at the age of 21.
Wow.
I paid it off by the time I was 26.
That is fabulous.
So I was out on the street basically with no money at 17, lived with three other roommates in one apartment, bounced around, got an apartment that was subject, what do you call it? Subject 8 properties. It was a government property, but it was
Like a HUD thing. Yeah.
yeah, I paid $500 a month, and I had my own one-bedroom apartment. And even then, I had a roommate that slept on my couch for I don't know how long. And I was there for at least 3 years and just saving up so I can buy my first house. Had I, maybe the market was different back then, but I bought the house and I paid it off. And I bought another house after that, another house after that. I did this just by doing personal training. I was one of the fewest personal trainers that was making $250,000 a year. I did no marketing. My body and my clients was my only marketing tools ever for years, for decades. When I started to learn about marketing, I left. I had a gym. I sold the gym, and then I got approached by a gentleman that had 2 exits in the past, and he's a great operational person, knew a lot about business. He says, man, you're really passionate and very knowledgeable, and you really care, so to speak. And I'd like for you to head my sales and marketing department. I'll handle the technology. I'll handle everything else. I said, okay, sure. Let's, partner up. We're going to start this company. 2007, we started it. 2012, we either are going to shelve it because our IT guy, the person who was building the software, was just not playing well with other other developers. And it's like we saw the writing on the wall. It's like if we don't sell, if we don't exit, we're going to just end up losing our investments. We made good money, but we had an offer. We couldn't refuse. We exited. Now, hide in sight, the company that bought us eventually got bought out again. I wish that I still had equity, which I didn't even understand equity back in the day. But if I even had 1% of what the company's worth right now, I might not be having this conversation with you. I might be sitting on my island right now.
An island somewhere, right?
So, but anyways, I retired. For a couple of years, I didn't work. I traveled for the first time, and became very miserable. I started having anxiety attacks, and I just had no purpose in life. And then I started to consult. A few of my friends invited me to come help them with their medical offices, and that led to me consulting over 60 clinics. And they're cash-based medical clinics. And I started helping other businesses. I did this for probably 12 years without, any marketing, just through word of mouth and that sort of thing. So, long answer to your question. I trust that who's listening can grab the essentials, and the sentiment of what I'm sharing is that it takes time, it takes work, it takes dedication, it takes passion. And if you're going to get into something, make sure that you love what you're doing. And sometimes I have to remind myself what I'm passionate about and what I can talk on a regular basis. I love talking about business. I love talking about motorcycles. I think I need to talk about motorcycles more often.
We could definitely do that. We got it because we're going to be going to break, but we could definitely do that when we come back after the break, because I think you've set the stage of your transparency, your value system, and in trusting the process of the ups and downs that every entrepreneur and successful person goes through in life and business. So. Thank you for sharing that, Fadi. We're gonna have to go to break, everybody. But when we come right back, Fadi is gonna do a deeper dive into some of the things that you can be doing as a business owner, a leader. Whether if you're starting a business or you've had a business already in place for a while, or you're maybe thinking about exiting, and also for you investors as well. So there's a lot more to come here, and we'll be right back after the break.
What is balance? It's being true to your purpose and not being distracted by shiny objects, surrounding yourself with family and loved ones, nurturing your spirituality, maintaining healthy balance of emotional and physical wellness, and being present in the moment. Chris Salem creates awareness about unblocking mindset barriers for sales professionals, business leaders, entrepreneurs, and all types of people to have sustainable success at the next level. The solution evolves out of the problem or challenge. The issue is that many people and businesses manage the effect but do not address the root cause. You now have an opportunity to live your life and operate your business in the solution rather than the effect of your challenges. Schedule a time to chat about your goals and the person you desire to be by going to ChristopherSalem.com. We have group consulting calls, one-on-one, and other programs to assist you. It will be the best thing you do for yourself to see how sustainable success is possible for you in your life and business. Join us at the next level. Visit ChristopherSalem.com.
When it comes to business, you'll find the experts here. Voice America Business Network.
You are listening to Sustainable Success with Chris Salem. Send an email to Chris at ChristopherSalem.com. Now, back to Sustainable Success.
Welcome back to Sustainable Success. If you're just joining us, we are talking about achieving sustainable growth for a successful exit within 5 years. We're here with Fadi Malouf. Again, you will get to know Fadi and his contact information here later. Again, we encourage everybody to also listen to the first segment of the show, just a lot of personal perspective that Fadi shared about his own journey in his entrepreneur life and what he did and what he's learned. And to recap, Fadi, what you had shared, I know we had to go to break and you wanted to finish up on a few points of some of the things you've learned and what you might have done different before we go into, providing some more insights to help business owners prepare better. But feel free to recap where we left off.
Sure. So I mentioned 4 things, key essentials that I believe they're ingrained in me now. I've been 25 plus years of working, maybe 30 now. Time just flies. So I said something about genuinely caring about people. It's either you're genuine or not, you care or don't. So that's hopefully ingrained in you. The second is just being passionate, which leads to being passionate about a topic, which leads to being knowledgeable. Okay, if you're buying into this information that you're researching, you're eventually going to share it with the people that you care because of you've been able to frame it for yourself and the people around you to help them, to help yourself. The last piece, and I started to share earlier about buying a house. Had I known that the statistics of the failure of building a business, actually, I take that back. I did know that it was very risky. Most businesses fail. 90+% of them failed, but that's my personality. I don't like to do easy stuff. I like to do hard things. I've been roped into doing things because they were hard. Okay. At this age, I like to work hard in different ways, but I like to work smart too, because a key word is called leverage. And that's the key to business. You have to know what you can leverage. And the numbers and the people and the trends are key to understand. I remember listening to Neil Bortz, I believe, FAM radio station in Atlanta. I couldn't understand a word that he was saying, but as a teenager driving to school, I would listen to this guy just so I can understand something that's, beyond going to school and the basics of life, right? So business. So buying a house was amazing to feel like you own something. By the way, which I only own a mortgage, not an actual house. Yeah. And as we know, the buying a home was designed by banks. They have to lend this money out. So, but what's the best way to get money back on the interest is, a 30-year fixed mortgage into a house. So, it was a long-term savings account, so to speak, but it was pitched as an investment, which it's not. So the only thing that a true investment is, it's going to cash flow. It's either going to be an asset or a liability. An asset is going to cash flow, and a liability is going to be an expense. At the end of the day, every year that was an expense. Yeah, when I sell it? Did I have equity in the property? Absolutely. But had I know that I could leverage that equity, I would have made a lot more money. Had I bought a business instead of a piece of real estate, I would be above $1 billion right now in net worth. So, had I focused on $1 million instead of $1 billion. Another mistake I could have. I shouldn't say mistake. I don't really regret things, but I kind of, if you really want to be successful in business, in finance, I didn't want to be at that age. I just wanted to pay the bills. So my initiative, my goals when I was 19 and early 20s is not the same. And I'm glad that I didn't chase the money. I chased my passions, and I still do. So, but if you're focusing on making a lot of money, your vision, your goal, your target needs to be big. And focusing on $1 billion is a minimum in today's age. Having a $10 million portfolio is a minimum in today's age. granted, not less about 1.1% of Americans have $1 million for their retirement or their net worth, and I would say ideally you need about 5 million. So most people are not on track, and this is the reason why I'm having this conversation publicly. I want to help more people get to that $5 million valuation. And
so 5 million, you think in today's world with inflation, the cost of living, I mean, things are so expensive now. 5 million and what maybe you can work and leverage that we can live a comfortable average life with that, from that.
Absolutely. 100%. And I mean, so 5 million living on 4% dividends is about $250,000 a year of passive income through your portfolio. And if you have a family, $250,000, I think it's pretty comfortable today, but maybe who knows what that's going to look like in 5 years.
Who knows in the next 10 years, exactly.
50 years, right? I got bought into working like a slave for 40 years so I can retire, which is a bunch of bullshit. I've read some books initially, bunch of books, and then I met some individuals, and then I've participated in businesses, and then I've grown businesses that went from 0 to $1 million in less than a year, like 6-7 months. So you don't have to work for 40 years. You can get a business to $1 million in revenue, even if the company's not even that profitable. You can sell it at 1x EBITDA for $1 million. You can do $1 million in 12 months, tops 24 months. You don't need 40, 50 years.
Yeah.
I almost started dropping F-bombs there because I'm very passionate. As you can tell.
We've had that before, so if it slips, don't worry about it.
Yeah, I've got some PTSD. I wish I'd known that when I was younger. So I started investing in the market when I was 25 years old, putting $50 in the market, 25. Even though I was making a lot of cash, I wasn't really investing or saving very much. I think I took over my portfolio from my brokers that actually they made money, but I didn't. In my when I was 40. So I've been just managing my own portfolio for the last 8 years. Obviously, it's been a bullish market, so it's been trending up.
Good, yeah.
It's been in the high, 20s digits return versus less than 5%, 6% returns. But I know what I'm, buying. Like I know what to invest in. I know how to do cover calls. I, primarily have just been buying and holding cost to average dollar averaging in my portfolio and doing cover calls. Not a whole lot, not too aggressive, but I had to understand what's happening in the market. And that's why I took over my investments and didn't want to be a passive investor anymore, which is total BS. It's way riskier if somebody else is managing my own money. So plus I reframed it. I learned how to enjoy investments. I'm not a numbers guy. Like my brother's a numbers guy. He talks in numbers. Sometimes I have to ask him, can you please slow down? Can we put it in writing? Because I can't take your audio. I can't, audio numbers into making.
Yeah, he sounds like he's very detailed oriented, very task and detailed oriented.
And I'm a visionary guy, and I'm about igniting and founding opportunities. And I've founded a number of companies. Obviously, not all of them have exited, only 2, but I've probably founded for myself 5, and for others, probably 24. Because that's what I like to do. What comes natural to me. So I'd like to go back to the audience, and I want them to take out of this segment a real important piece, which you're probably hearing more and more about it now, especially because of the way the economy is in today's age. And statistically, 10, 20, 30 years was the same as now. Buying a business that's cash flowing, this is why a bank will give you money all day long for it, just like for a house they would, is because the failure rate is less than 2%. For an established cash flowing business. So that's why an SBA loan is very doable. 45, 60 days. It's a pain in the ass to do all the paperwork, but you can get 90 cents on the dollar. For if you want to buy a business that's worth $1 million, the bank will give you 900,000. You come up with 100,000, and if you don't have 100,000, you can find investors. You give away 10% equity. You can literally do a deal in the next 90 days, 60 days. Usually, from start to finish, 3 months to 6 months, so I can help a client buy their first business. And sometimes I'm an equity investor, and sometimes I'm not. But that's the thing that I wish that I had known. I'm not a broker. I'm not licensed, but I'm an accredited investor, and I'm a strategist. I consult people to do the same thing. Why? Because it's the best accountability piece for me. I know that I care about people, and that's my driver. Like, if I'm going to treat their money like mine. I've always taken a fiduciary responsibility for my clients' health when I was in the health and fitness space. Same thing when I was in the medical field for 12 years. And now that I'm in the finance space, I do the same thing. We have lives that that rely on this. I have there are people that I know in their 60s and 70s coming out of retirement because they just don't have enough.
Yeah, they got to make ends meet. Yeah, exactly.
And it's
not easy to be finding a job where they had left off at that age, like just like a corporate or a job that's going to pay what they had originally retired from.
Yeah, a lot of countries don't think about retirement. They just love what they do. They work till the day they die. I'll always work till the way they die. But we've been sold in the U.S. retirement, and which is nowhere near from most people. It's a scam.
Yes,
it pisses me off.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. I believe. Yeah, I can relate 100%. Yeah. So this. What I love of what you're sharing, Fadi, is because you're sharing it from a personal perspective. You're sharing your journey, like what you experienced, and I always think that's always insightful for people that are listening to get to decide what that means to him or her in their situations. And so, like you talked about, like, again, you wish you knew a lot of these things when we were younger. I agree. I wish I had myself. But, we are wherever people are, that's where they are. And that's where you got to start today. Right. So any tips that you could share, like if somebody says, my God, his message really resonates with me. What do I do? What's the first thing that I can do right now?
Well, it depends on your personality. If you like to research, by all means, start researching and looking for businesses to buy. If you want to grow as fast as you possibly can, you're later in life and you need to have a 5 million plus nest egg, or even at least 1 million in your nest egg. You need to shop for not a car, not a boat, not a house. Don't shop for anything else except for businesses. Start looking for businesses online because they have listings and you can get a better understanding of what's happening in the market. Start developing your relationships with investors, private equity, venture capitalists. Be a collaborator and position yourself to where you are in mix of deal flows. I see probably, when I have my marketing engine on, I'll see 100 plus deals a month. Sometimes, 30 a week. So right now I've intentionally slowed down. I'm working on a couple big projects. And my latest, and I think this is, as of this morning, I kind of created an identity for me that I would enjoy. And it keeps me humble and in my work that I can see doing the rest of my life. I love strategies. I love business strategies, and they typically happen in a one-on-one call, sometimes in a small group session. And I just love doing them. If I could do about 12 of those a week, I'm a happy person. That's all I need from me. So I'm working on becoming the 100x ROI conversation guy. So I charge a small amount for up to 60 minutes, maybe up to 2-hour call. It just depends if you got a lot of head trash. If you're a high-level investor founder, this call can be 15 minutes that I can put together a strategy that will 100x ROI within 30 days, 90 days tops, and I guarantee the strategy works. So if you want to take action right away and get a strategy and tactics and making this happen for you in the next 30 days, jump on a call. Go to my website, schedule an appointment. It's $500. And believe me, it's well worth it. And I work until you get the result. Simple as that. This is my way for me to serve people. It's very inexpensive, and they have access to me. They have access to my network. They have access to my capital. So I just I can't give my time away. If I'm going to give my time away, it's going to be with my family, my grandkids, my close friends. And I notice when you put some amount of time for your time, people respect that. They'll show up with questions, written questions. They're not driving. They're focused. They want to meet in person. They want to do a video call instead of a phone call, or meet. Like I said, they want to travel and meet you to have a real conversation and get real answers and real results. So stop giving away your time. I will give 5 minutes. My discovery calls, if somebody wants my time, I'll give them 5 minute I have my 5 minute calendar, but it will be specifically to produce revenue. So, and there's no free lunch. And I do this for myself, and I encourage others to do the same thing. Now, I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it does. And I know we got to go to break here in about 20 seconds, but anything you want to close out this segment, and we can pick it up on after the break.
Just to recap, most importantly, shop for businesses if you really want to grow fast. Yeah. If you are scaling, you already have a business. Next segment, let's talk about strategy and tips and tricks on how to leverage your time and your team and your resources.
Okay, absolutely. Well, we got more to come here. Some great insights here talking about achieving sustainable growth for a successful exit within 5 years. And we got more to come with Fadi Malouf. We'll be right back after the break.
What is balance? It's being true to your purpose and not being distracted by shiny objects, surrounding yourself with family and loved ones, nurturing your spirituality, maintaining healthy balance of emotional and physical wellness, and being present in the moment. Chris Salem creates awareness about unblocking mindset barriers for sales professionals, business leaders, entrepreneurs, and all types of people to have sustainable success at the next level. The solution evolves out of the problem or challenge. The issue is that many people and businesses manage the effect but do not address the root cause. You now have an opportunity to live your life and operate your business in the solution rather than the effect of your challenges. Schedule a time to chat about your goals and the person you desire to be by going to ChristopherSalem.com. We have group consulting calls, one-on-one, and other programs to assist you. It will be the best thing you do for yourself to see how sustainable success is possible for you in your life and business. Join us at the next level. Visit ChristopherSalem.com. Voice America is on LinkedIn. Connect with us today. You are listening to Sustainable Success with Chris Salem. Send an email to Chris at ChristopherSalem.com. Now, back to Sustainable Success.
Welcome back to Sustainable Success. If you're just joining us, we are talking about achieving sustainable growth for a successful exit within 5 years. We're here with our subject matter expert, Fadi Malouf. Again, you're going to be able to get his contact information here later. Again, our show is being brought to you today by Alumni Direct, a new social media community platform dedicated to bringing alumni together from all different generational types and an opportunity to meet new people for the first time. They also feature now a new professional athlete to entrepreneur section. And it doesn't mean you have to be an entrepreneur, but if a professional athlete is leaving their sport to now enter the everyday world of either becoming a business owner, whether if they're going to buy a franchise or work for someone, you have a spot here at Alumni Direct where you can bond with other athletes doing the same to make that transition more seamless. There's also a podcast that supports it called From Athletes to Entrepreneur. If you'd like more information about that, check it out again at alumnidirect.com. That's alumnidirect.com. So Fadi, just some great information that you've been sharing throughout the show here. Share with us some strategies and tips, for individuals that they can start taking action now to set themselves up for success, the things that are within their control right now.
Yep. I'd like to start with that in regards, I'm not an expert in this field, but you need to, I can make some recommendations. You need to understand taxes and policies. This is a really great leverage point for you. If you understand taxing, how taxes work, you can set up businesses that essentially serves the economy, serves the government, and puts money in your pockets. Okay. So there's a really good recent book that I've listened to. If anybody who knows Robert Kiyosaki, he's pretty popular in the real estate space. And this is called Zero.
I think I know what you're talking about. I know, yeah. From Zero, I can't remember the title myself.
I'm now insisting that I have to pull it. Okay, here it is. Tax-free wealth. Tom Wheelwright, CPA. Highly recommend that you read this book because it gives you all sorts of different strategies to save on money and taxes. It's really important that you understand that. Secondly, fast lane to millionaire. MJ DiMengio, get into $1 million in revenue. If you're not producing $1 million in revenue plus, you really don't have a business. Basically, if you're producing $1 million in revenue, in most cases you have a small team and systems in place. If you are self-employed, you are a one-man army. You don't really have a business. So you've got to work on your leadership skills. You got to work on hiring the right talent and putting the machine together, so to speak. If you suck at it, that's okay. I've been really bad at it. And that's why I got lucky in my exit in 2012. I had 2 other partners. So stick to what you know sometimes is the best thing to do. If you're not on a track that you're impacting $1 billion or at least 100 million, it's going to be hard for you to make substantial amount of revenue and stock it away or invest it in something for you to retire. Entrepreneurship is definitely not for everybody. So if you have chosen to take the entrepreneurship road and you know that you can't do it by yourself, I highly recommend that you have a partner. Second thing I said is look at acquisition. If you've been spinning your wheels, you've got to try something different. One of the first 2 hires you must make is an executive assistant and 2 salespeople, not one. Hire 2 salespeople at one time. If you are the person that's selling, you need an executive assistant. If you're really good with operation, you need at least 1 to 2 salespeople. Now, if you're bigger, let's say 10 or 15 plus employees, and you haven't hired a fractional C-suite advisory, then you're most likely a bottleneck. You're around 3 million in revenue, and you're about to pull your hair out. You've put in some belly fat, and your cortisol levels are through the roof. You're having sleepless nights, anybody that's in that space, they know. Like, I don't know anybody that's not started up a business that didn't have those sleepless nights. And your health is number one. So make sure that you're effective at what you're doing, and hiring a fractional C-suite advisory where you have CEO, CMO, COO, CITOs. These people have a great experience in what you're going through and can really make sure that you're optimizing your activities. If you are, let's say, 10 million plus in your cash flow, most likely you're already being approached by private equity investors, partners, potentially looking to buy. And maybe you don't want to sell. You want to keep the business as a legacy for your family. And that's great. But maybe you're not. I see a lot of times there are people who are like, I got a friend of mine right now that's got 400 units. He's been buying real estate and developing. But I can tell the last couple of years, every time I get on a phone conversation with him, he seems a bit burned out. Like he's losing his passion. So I've seen one too many times businesses go out of business because they didn't sell the business, because of their passion. Most people don't think about exiting. I highly suggest that you think about exiting, even if you're just getting started or even haven't even started. The reason why you think about exiting is because you'll put all the right systems and people in place. So even if you're going to keep that business as the legacy business, a true business is going to cash flow while you're sleeping. You should be able to take a month vacation to reset so you can come back really fresh and be very innovative. In today's market, it's very competitive, and you have to be able to innovate. Obviously, AI is it's a must. So if you're not using AI, start using it personally, and eventually you'll see how you can use it for your business as well. Every person in your company needs to be using AI, including yourself. And now these days, I'm almost 50. I use AI. I use primarily ChatGPT, but marketing is a really important piece. And in a marketing team, I've got 2 marketing partners. Every person on the team is using AI for SEO, PPC, writing copy, design, you name it. Same thing with business valuation. There's a lot of existing platforms that help you better evaluate businesses. Even though you're not in the space of buying or selling businesses, you have to understand where you are in the market. It's just like buying a car. Obviously a car is just going to get you to point A to point B. You might not care what it looks like, but as long as it's reliable, you want to make a quick buy and move along. But that's the same thing in business. If you want a profitable business to buy, too many of them that are listed that are overpriced and they're shit, to be honest with you. So they put lipstick on a pig and try to sell it to you. So be careful about what you're looking at. Is this helping, Chris?
No, extremely helpful. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I know we got about, 4.5 minutes remaining. Well, that I want to give time for you to, let people know where to find you.
Sure. I'm easy to find. Just my first and last name on Google, and I'll come up. Best place to catch me is on LinkedIn. I'm very active in my DMs there. You can reach out to me there and set up a time to talk. I'm also, FadiMalouf.com. That's my personal website. That's primarily focused on business strategies and my consulting. And then we have FM Enterprises, which is our portfolio of businesses, as well as we primarily serve investors and buyers on that company right there. And typically companies that are doing at least 5 million in EBITDA on the FM Enterprises. So I work with startups from zero, or even just founders that are looking to even build a business. And right now, I have 3 projects right now that are over $1 billion that I'm working on right now. So people ask me why such a wide. I just like this. It keeps me humble, I guess. It keeps me fighting for the little guy, which has always been me. I may not be the smallest guy in the market, but I'm nowhere near some of these big dogs, right? So, yeah. And I'm not trying to be the next Elon Musk. I just like to have a nice legacy for my family and change the trajectory. I've seen a lot of people in my family struggle, and that's a big motivator for me. So I sense that you might be in the same boat, maybe not, but either way, if you're looking to grow and scale, you want a talented person that is very resourceful. I can definitely help you. And if it's not me, I've got 300 market partners, 800 other investors that I've developed over the years, and 60 other advisors that have exited themselves that are more than happy to advise. And they have capital themselves. They typically deploy 1 to 4 times a year, just like me, that are investing in worthy causes.
Wow. Fabulous. Fabulous of insights. And again, we highly encourage everybody listening, take advantage of this. This is a great resource to get to know Fadi, get to know his his organization and the various resources that can help you be proactive in looking at this now individually for your family and even for the people that are working for you right now. Because a lot of times if it's put into the right hands, you'll have another job, continuing with that new owner, whatever it may be. So again, this is a strategy. It's important. I know we got we still got time left, Fadi. Anything else that you'd like to share over the next 3 minutes here? Anything that you feel like you didn't cover that you would just want to close and connect the dots for everybody?
Sure. Something I've been using for 25, 30 years. It's my 3-step methodology. It's 3 E's. That's evaluate, establish, and execute. Okay. And everything that I look at in life, personally and professionally, this has just been ingrained in me. Evaluate the situation, establish a plan, and then work on executing that plan, and then recycle. Take a look at the results of what you executed on, evaluate that, and reestablish. Even if you have to do this on a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, annual basis, that process, getting to know yourself, is key, in my opinion. It's the journey and who we become in the process of achieving our life goals. It's not the final outcome. Most will tell you that's what it is. Yes, I'm fighting for your results, but the results are not going to happen if we don't understand the repetition and the process. So with that, I hope that inspires you to take action and be the best version of yourself.
Yeah, so true, so true. So, hey, this is time right now, listeners. This is the time to really, evaluate where you're at. Personally, you got to look at what you get. Life will happen to you if you don't decide to plan and design how you want life to be for you. You can't control everything in life, obviously, or other people, but you can control what you do. And what Fadi shared about, again, preparation, planning, executing, and then measuring to see what's working and not, and so forth. So important. Just some great information. Anything that if you'd like to sum up in this minute right now, Fadi, just everything you've shared today, just to leave the listeners, with something to say, okay, I'm taking action with this.
Yep. You can retire in the next 5 years with 5 million plus in your portfolio, and you can continue working comfortably 20 hours a week remotely from anywhere in the world. It's possible. If that's what you want, go after it.
Yeah. Yeah. Powerful. And what I love what you said, 5 years, like, oh my God, that's not a lot. That's how could I do that in 5 years? You'd be surprised. I've seen people do it when they really buckle down and work hard, and you really got to commit yourself, like you said. But, the work is worth it. And again, as long as you're not sacrificing, again, your overall well-being and, maybe your family, got to have some harmony there. But, eliminating, like you said, Fadi, just eliminate some of the things that are not serving you. I mean, that you can get that time back. That's time well worth, putting back into a business and developing it. So it becomes now an asset, not a liability, as you mentioned earlier. So true. I want to thank you, Fadi, for taking the time to be here out of your busy schedule. Me personally and everybody here on the Sustainable Success team. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, guys. Have a great one. We'll see you.
Thank you. And listeners, we want to thank you each and every week joining us here at Sustainable Success. Again, we're committed each and every week bringing subject matter experts like Fadi in to serve you from personal experience and helping to take you and your business to the next level. Till then, everybody, have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you for tuning into Sustainable Success. Be sure to join Chris Salem and his guests every Wednesday at 12 noon Pacific Time and 3 p.m. Eastern Time on the Voice America Business Channel. Have an incredible week.